Hello and welcome to yet another cast. For you today I have a 44 played on the Matchmaker and again on Odda, so I guess we saw that map again quite quickly. I mean, fair enough if it's currently in the 44 matchmaking pool. But anyway, we have Team 1 up here on the top, Team 2 down here on the south, and let's start with the easternmost position for Team 1. We have in blue going Surfman and opening first land, Sledo Noob. I'm gonna refer to him as Sledo throughout this game, or throughout this cast. And already getting a bit early on, I'll point that out a bit early, he is by far the highest rated player in this lobby. But anyway, to the west of that, in dark blue, going UEF and also opening first land, we have L to the Aeon. Then, to the west of that, in this purple, going Serpent and opening first air, we have Baragi Svoy Pukan. Baragi throughout this game, I think. Well, I'm gonna decide on that a bit later, but I think that's gonna be what I'm going with. And anyway, to the south of that, in the Cyan, going Seraphim and opening first land, we have Solar Panoop. Then for Team 2 down here in the south on their westernmost position, in red, going UF and opening first land, we have Herrscher of Death. Then to the east of that, in this burgundy red, in this dark red, also going UF and also opening first land, we have Bowler. To the east of that, in orange, going Serpent and opening first land, we have Cal. And then to the north of that, in this piss yellow, going Cybran and opening first land, currently already moving over into onto the island of Sledo, we have Nova Space. But yeah, as already pointed out about the ratings, we have Sledo at 2287, by far the highest rated player. The next highest rated player, I believe, is Herrscher of Death at 1622, or 1622. And I don't think usually you would get a matchup like this. I'm almost suspecting that Sledo may be in a party with one of his teammates, with one of the far lower rated players, because I can't imagine the matchmaker coming up with this kind of matchup otherwise. But we're still at 99% balance, so we'll see how this turns out. Now, about the map, we have massive font right here in the middle, the players spread out on two islands, and those are pretty close, or two islands per team, and there are and there is a pathable beach right between those, so what you usually see apparently is that the players on this forward position right here that spawn there just move the ACU over onto the island of the single player. In this case, that would be Sledo, with the player that's right behind that on the other side, in this case Cal, moving that commander up, going for these nexus up here, and from that moving in to support their teammate, putting this player up here, or the player that spawns up here, in this case Sledo, in a 1v2 situation. Though to be fair, looking at this matchup, I suspect that Sledo may be the one that could deal best with this in this lobby, as a as a over 2k rated player on the matchmaker. Which is even more impressive than just normal over 2k, because generally matchmaker ratings are lower than the global ratings. But also a large amount of entries currently streaming over that for Sorapanu on their side, and already building up some spam factories to try and deal with her share of death. Slado currently only has some slants out, I guess to just keep tabs on everything that Novaspace is doing. And Novaspace also already has 2 factories out to produce stuff, but isn't streaming NGs over the area right here. Over this bay area, I guess you could call it, not too sure. But they apparently dropped over some engineers to this side island, which will, by the looks of it, just go down to a Scorcher out from Slado. Wait, was that Slado? Slado isn't UEF, I think that would have been today or not Slado. So never mind that. I'm stupid. Nothing new there. But there's transport coming out from Slado to try and claim that island as well. So there's that. And Cal already has a bomber out, which is on a massive patrol move, and apparently right now it's just that the turning range or rate of these is quite pitiful. Was about to say apparently it just is continuing on because the entries were dropped as a slight bit too late, or later, or too late, yeah, for that to actually work out. T2 going out for Slado now. Any other upgrades? There is a gun damage and range, or just gun, I guess, going out for Hasher of Death. And I think... oh, never mind, to the Aeon also going T2. And we also already see some naval production out. A factory out for Barragy, one out for to the Aeon. As well as on the south side already 3 with a 4th one going up for Cal. So quite a Navy investment there. But they also seem to be the only player on their team actually going for Navy right now. Baller moving his commander in to support Tasha. And Cal moving on to the island right here. I guess also about to support Novaspace then. Now, I did check this replay earlier today, so I know what will be going on. Quite some shenanigans, not gonna spoil it. But it is going to be fun. The AC right here makes landfall, takes some pot shots at this Thunderhead frigate. And yeah, but Aeon recognizes that early enough and just pulls that out of the commander range. So that's not taking any more damage. You do, however, see some Zui spam out from Cal. The Aeon T1 artillery, actually being a hover unit, and thus capable of moving over the water, and which can be quite annoying for some naval players because, well, you have a very cheap and very easily spammable unit right at T1 that is, when not dodged properly, causing a lot of damage, especially in large amounts, since T1 RT generally does deal a lot of damage. And that can be quite annoying to deal with. Now we see Gun also going out for Novaspace, and T3 going up for Slado. And more build power dropped over, I guess, support that commander on that upgrade, which is, to be fair, very expensive. And on 47 eco, that is quite the brave move, but it will all make sense very soon. And these poor mexes just being massacred by these frigates and this one submarine. Well, only the submarine because the frigates can't fire there. Truly, truly horrible to see. Some night fighting going on here between Sauropanoop and Herrscher of Death. With some farms and strikers clashing. And that seems to be going in favor of Herrscher right now. And Bowler is also moving up their commander to support that. Slider going for Gun right here in the back. Gun also going out for Sauropanoop. Not sure if I pointed that out earlier. And now I definitely have. And with that commander out from Bowler, supporting the land spam out from Herrscher, I think that those will be just cleaned up quite easily. Those tanks. Though that commander is technically unupgraded. Also, reclaim entries already either underway already right here for both sides. Herrscher of Death is currently still moving in the reclaim entries, while the ones for Sauropanoop are already here, though those will probably just die now to the spam. Okay, Nano going up on that ICU now. I guess they want to go for a really, really beefy commander on their front line. With T2, Nano and Gun. But if you are 2v1 with your commander, I can totally see why you would want to do that. Any bit of HP helps with that. Now, Slado was gifted over a T2 transport and is currently moving his ACU in that. Dropping it at some position. Let's just follow that. Oh, starting to pull back a bit. I guess just wanting to wait for those intis to provide proper air coverage. And let's see. Very sorry about that. Still have a bit of a cough, as always apparently. And I lost the transport. Right, it moved back a bit. And the drop has been ordered now. Will drop right here. So yes, we see a command drop coming out from Slado Noob. I mean, fair enough. To be fair with Slado, there is not really, the players in this lobby are not really, or in this game, aren't really at his rating level or skill level. So I guess he can just afford to go for a bit more of some meme strategies instead of some serious tryhard gameplay. And immediately building up a whole bunch of T19 factories to start producing spam right here, right in the middle of his opponent's bases, and throwing up some T2PD now. I think the beam just took a moment to render there, for some reason. But yeah, that is now pouring in quite a bit of damage into his opponent's stuff. To the Aeon doing the same. And trying to get up some sort of firebase with shielding and stuff like that, and of course PD. But Baller very quick on the ball, I guess. And getting up some Triad point defense to take that out, to cause some damage, forcing L to the Aeon currently to just move into the water, to not die to that PD fire. Slado also trying to throw up counter PD against that, but the PD, these triads out from Baller are covered by a shield and thus will have more survivability. And that will probably prove to be a bit of an issue. Though with the T3 upgrades, Dado is able to quickly throw up DPD. To the Aeon. Wait, no, and I was about to say with only T2 will probably have a harder time, but no, that is also a T3 commander. And the T1BD is thrown up even quicker. And also, since range at this point for the T1BD isn't too relevant, it also provides a lot more DPS than the T2 variant, so definitely worth it in this moment. Especially when trying to deal with the Trials, I think. Though the Trials do have a lot more HP. But some clever overcharges could probably take out the Trials. And I think that's also what we are seeing. Yep, that is what we are seeing out from Slado. Overcharging and cleverly firing into the SPD, and Sorbo Noob died to Harsher of Death. Somewhere. Going by those and the fact that the ACU died right here, I suspect that there was another drop attempted in the backline of Harsher of Death's base. So I would assume that maybe Slado, Sorpo, Noob, and to the Aeon may have been coordinating on voice chat or something like that. And may have been in a party. Though I don't know that for sure. So that is just my guess. But the defensive BDs that Border tried to throw up in this space have now all been killed off, as well as most of the build power. So with that, to the Aeon and Slado currently stand unopposed in the core base of their opponent. But it definitely, Slado is definitely paying the price for that in his own base. Since without the commander or the focus on production on that base, the units of Nova's base are capable of just completely overrunning the island that once was held by Slado. That is definitely a massive downside there. Due to that, Slado throwing up some T2P gen, by T2P gen right in the space. To get some of that, and even a T2RT to help against the Navy that is firing onto the stuff that has been built up. To the Aeon also trying to go for some Ravagers, which seems to actually be successful due to the repair order from the commander onto that. And those will do quite a bit of damage to anything that is trying to get close to the shore, as Ravagers have some ridiculous DPS. At least while they are in their firing cycle. Let's see, how our economy is looking after that. Team 1 ahead by around 100 mass, or well, a bit over 100 mass. I guess that's really just down to the core base of Bowler being completely caught out. And heavy damage to the core base of Cal. Looking at this. And thus, those players really hampered in their ability to do anything. Which will probably in the long term also provide some significantly easier air build or air superiority out for the northern team, as they have a eco advantage on the slots that will build air, or are more likely to build air. Saying that there's also T2 air out for Herrscher. And for Nova Space, so the players that still have their core bases intact are going for tagged air. But the main base of Slatto about to completely die. Right here. With the air factory about to go down. Max is all dead and yeah, not much left there. That will definitely be very painful. Slatto down to 24 mass income. Getting another transport and picking up his comm again. I guess trying to go for another drop. Probably into the base of Nova Space. Trying to do some damage there. Though he needs to be wary of the Navy that is out, that Nova Space has built up now. As it is T2 and has some quite decent range. And the Cyclone Destroyers have some pretty decent direct fire DPS. So that could be very problematic for Slatto. And definitely very dangerous. And Nova Space aware of what's going on, move the Siren in closer to help deal with that. But Slatto's ASU currently out of range of that by the looks of it. And though I suspect if it moves into this area, it could be a completely different game. In a way that maybe the Salem and Siren could actually reach that. The Salem making landfall and using its superior range now. Or its high range. That will definitely be able to continue to reach the commander of Slatto. And that commander taking a lot of fire now. It could have been, it was definitely a very bold move, and I'm not sure if Slatto will survive this one. But okay, I am sure because again I checked these replays beforehand, but I'm not gonna spoil it. Yeah, ASU does go down into the yellow at yeah, below 12k HP now. Still more than the ASU has normally due to the T3 upgrade, but it's still something that Slatto should definitely still be very careful with that. Moving in the transport, trying to get the commander into that. The transport is very heavily damaged at only 225 HP now. I guess having taken quite a bit of flag fire from those cruisers. The ASU having some difficulty in getting in there, and the transport does actually... I think the transport took some of the cruise missiles out from the Seraphim cruisers. Dying to those. And with that, Slatto has no way to properly evacuate now. With the Navy closing in to bombarding range and submarines also coming in to prevent him from going underwater. Though the destroyers will probably also do that, will also just do that. And with that, the ASU is losing HP at a rapid rate to that Navy bombardment. Now, something that's going on here, we have a very large push, or very sizable push of Ishibas coming out from Barrahy on the island of Balor, and that will probably take out Balor since that ASU has quickly run out of friends and anything to help defend it, with the Ishis just overrunning the firebase that was here, or whatever was there. And with that, Balor does go down and the players have equalized, but at the same time, Slatto goes down right here, and thus the player count has actually not equalized. Now L to the Aeon, trying to be decrease pressure on this side. That will... well, let's see how that actually will go. There are some flapjacks in here that are trying to take out the Triads, but there's also Klinkhammer in place, and with that T3 upgrade, the ACU is definitely capable of also just throwing up some TMD to take out those MMLs. So there wouldn't be too much damage done from that. However, the navy of the southern team now being utilized to clear up the island again, or their island, from the northern intrusion, the northern intruders. But with that, currently we are looking at a 2v3 situation which isn't looking too great, and also a not insignificant land incursion out from Herrscher of Death and, well, generally the southern team onto the main island of the northern team, where they only have Baragi's ACU, which does have T3 and is firing into that, and also getting some support from a few battleships firing onto the shore. Which, on the note of that, let's see, is there any T3 naval production out from the southern team? No. Doesn't look like it. But it's not that production won't be too valuable if there is nothing, if there's no eco to produce with, so... Well, we will have to see how useful that can actually be right now. And hey, once again, we actually see Wagner's utilized on this map. And... But yeah, the Wagners are definitely not being used as aggressively in the last game I casted on this map. But they are still just running in and helping to raid stuff. Herrscher of Death does go down to Barracus. I think that ACU tried to get in the water and died to these Barracudas. So it did actually go down to a 2v2 now. To the Aeon now, very aggressively trying to push forward with that commander. But with the navy in place, I still think that this incursion on the southern island may be a very, very risky play that potentially might not work out. With the developments, let's see how Eco is looking, and yes, Team 2 is actually at on Eco now with around 90 mass income. So the game seems to have turned more in favor of the southern team. And to the Aeon deciding to control the ACU, seeing basically that they, well, coming to the conclusion that they are probably not going to get out of there and that the Navy will probably just take out their position. And thus that they don't really stand a chance, only leaving Baragi against the two opposing players, who are also significantly higher rated, something that I forgot to point out. But yes, due to Slado having the very high rating, the general team would have been very much lower rated. Right, if you enjoyed this cast, but yeah, that's the game, southern team wins. If you enjoyed this cast, I don't know, leave a like, or give feedback or stuff like that in the comments. Yeah, this was streamed live on Twitch, as you were able to see, or as you are able to see with the chat message that just popped up. Yes, I can talk sometimes. Link that will be, as always, in the description. Yeah, there are gonna be more casts like this, so if you want to be notified when those come out, you can subscribe. And yeah, hope you enjoyed and hope to see you again in a future cast. Till then, bye!